Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV, our broadcast this evening, live from Talladega Nights Racing League. NASCAR Racing Season 2003. No, NASCAR Racing 2003 season. I got to get that right. I've only said that a million times. Race number 8 this evening. We're getting almost close to the playoffs here, so this is going to be very, very cool. My name is Blaine, joined with Rod. Rod, how you doing?
I am doing great, buddy. All rested up from last night's marathon. That was quite an event. We haven't heard who won that yet. Jeff says he knows, but he's not revealing it yet. So I'm waiting to hear about that.
Yeah, for everybody who watched last night, it was 4.5 hours, Tarnation TV record. We pulled it off somehow. 7 races, points, I guess, are still being tallied. That's the great thing with them having another race today is we have to get ready for this one. So, and so do the administrators. So they'll be busy, scraping through replays and all that good stuff. But on screen right now, you're looking at the up-to-date point standings for this evening's rendezvous, or, whatever you want to call it. We've got a couple races left before the playoffs start, so we got lots of cool point stuff to talk about. And of course, those conversations will happen throughout the evening. You were saying the drivers were in a meeting, or they
just got done with their meeting now. They're pretty close to the end of it. They haven't got cars on track yet, or trucks. See, we're gonna get caught with that again tonight.
Yeah, truck files. We are running the Camping World Series 2015.
All right,
mod.
So that's one for me. One for me. And one interesting point. One interesting point about last week: no incident points.
Last week,
not a one.
Yeah, it was clean.
Yeah, it was a clean race, no incident points.
Mm-hmm.
Drivers are now taken to the track, so they got about 3 minutes of practice to get ready, and then they'll go out and do their qualifying.
Right.
You'll have the drivers. No, there was that last week's race was really, really cool race. It was a good race. One caution, unfortunately, for Pat McCursky's blown motor. And other than that, we had no cautions. Denny Carroll, as we said before, ended up coming through and winning it. And you and I were having a lot of discussion about it last week about where we thought that was going to end him up in points. I think you and I both were kind of on the conclusion that he'd be about maybe 11th or 12th. No, he actually is in 9th. There was quite a few drivers that didn't make it, so that put him in pretty good. So if he can keep his nose out of trouble tonight and next week, I think he's going to be in that top 12.
Yeah, and that's, Denny Carroll, his points there on screen now in 9th. You can see there from the graph that he actually didn't make 2 of those races. He used provisional points in race number 5, and you're only allowed 1 provisional. So then race number 6, he couldn't make it. So we got 0 points. But then, like you said, with that win last week, a couple drivers like Eric Lovell, Keith Bynum, they didn't make it. And with his win, launched him up to 9th spot. He was actually in 16th place coming into last week's race. And with that win, he's firmly in the playoffs. That's, of course, if he finishes good tonight. And, of course, next Sunday. No, we'll be off next Sunday because it's Easter, correct?
I believe so. I'd have to look at the schedule on that. I hadn't gone that far ahead yet.
Aha. Yeah, I do believe we have next week off. See if I can get a hold of Jeffrey here. The booth to Jeffrey Elliott. Are you there, buddy?
He might be busy too, so something. I'm tired, man. That guy last night, not only was he racing in the thing, trying to keep everything going last night, we're all there for well over 5 hours. The broadcast may only have been in 4.5 hours, but, you and I were prepping before, Jeff was running around prepping everything before. And then, of course, after we were done broadcasting, you and I usually chat a little bit about how it went, what we should expect and whatnot. And so it was a long day for you and I and for everybody.
Yeah, everybody involved. I mean, even like you said, even the drivers, it was almost like, they called it the mega marathon race for a reason. The thing was definitely a marathon, almost an endurance race, if you want to call it that, because of just how long it went for. And some guys would have had to run 3 races in a row pretty much because the last couple sprints. Oh, there's the 56. What's up, 56?
Good evening, everybody. We're still kind of tired from last night, I'm sure, but we are here to support you and obviously Randy Walford, the awesome sponsor tonight. We're going to bring him down out during the happy hour for about 3.5 minutes. If we try to give him at least a minute to get back up there, get ready for the race. Does that sound okay to you?
Sounds perfect.
All right, bud. We'll see you after qualifying.
Right on, man. So we're still doing the same thing: qualify, meet the drivers, and then away we go.
Yes, sir. 10-4.
We were wondering though, is next week we're off, right?
Easter, yes.
Yes. Okay. That's what we thought, but we just wasn't too sure. We want to make sure about that.
10-4. Yep, it's on the schedule on the website. We are off next week.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, guys. Get ready to go. We got 45 seconds. But, yep, definitely off next week. And we'll be headed into our last race the following week. And off to the playoffs we go. So I thought, we're averaging less than 2 cautions average for this series on Sunday nights with no damage. I mean, the damage turned off. So that just tells you damage on or off. We are having an outstanding season here with great driving. So I want to give kudos to the guys tonight. So we're going to try to keep that going, guys.
Well, and some guys were questioning the no damage decision because you think it might just end up being a wreck fest because nobody cares because only tires can take damage and, what's going to happen. But the rules are still in place for incidents, so that's really kept everybody in check. And yeah, with you're not even able to dent these cars up. Sorry, trucks.
One for you.
Yep. It's the thing where the incidents, you can still get penalized for an incident. So damage on or off, it ends up being a great race.
Yeah, 98% of these drivers are still holding 2 passes in their pockets. That tells you something right there. And, that speaks volumes. So kudos to these guys for running clean. Not saying we won't have 12 cautions tonight, but you never know. But anyways, hopefully we don't. And we'll give everybody a good race, another good race.
Right on, buddy. Yeah, it sounds like we're going into qualifying here, so I'll abort my run and
All
let
right,
you get down there
Yep.
and do what you got to do.
Yes, sir. All right, guys.
Good luck, Jeff. Yeah, so that race last night was a lot of fun. A long one. Tonight it's going to seem real quick for us.
Okay, buddy, fired up here.
Yeah, and speaking of Randy Waugh, he is the sponsor for this evening's race, the United Cerebral Palsy. So that would be ucp.org. You can see that on your screen right now. The slideshow features his son with cerebral palsy there. And again, a big fan of all the racing that goes on here at Tarnation TV as well. We will be talking to Randy shortly in happy hour, like Jeff said. So thank you very much, Randy, for the sponsorship this evening. Jeff and I sort of came up with a plan, like, hey, these guys always donate to the league, right? Like the drivers in the league donate money to keep the TeamSpeak servers running, to keep the race servers running, and to keep the broadcast servers running. So let's put their stuff on the screen. So the drivers, you basically draw names from a hat. All 12 races this season were sponsored by, sometimes there's actually multiple drivers sponsoring one race. And they bring a sponsorship to the race. And it's neat because it makes it feel like it's a little bit more, I mean, it's already a very community-driven thing, but this kind of puts the cherry on top. And the guys have been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like I said, I just started last week broadcasting with you, and last week I had Dan Lovell's sponsorship up there, feed the children and stuff. Now this week we're doing the one for cerebral palsy. That's awesome. That's really cool and really good. Nice of the league to do that. And it is great to have people donate. I mean, I race here, I donate. May not be a lot, but every little bit counts. And it costs money to run the TeamSpeak, costs money to run the servers, and costs money to have you come in here and broadcast this. So it's really cool that there's enough people in here that helps keep that going.
It's a great tight-knit community. A lot of these leagues are the professional leagues. So some of them are just fun leagues, just kind of come and go. But these guys tracking their points, administration teams going through replays, and it's not easy to do. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of work going on. And it's cool to see everybody kind of come together and throw, a couple bucks down each month and, feed all these things. And we use RLM Arena to host the races so the drivers can connect through that. So I don't know the name of the guy who runs RLM, but, that's not cheap either. So, he has to charge monthly, obviously, to have those servers up and running. And, at the end of the day, it just never stops. somebody designed RLM Arena because they're passionate about this game also, and it's an easy way for players to connect and keep everybody, consistent on their connections and what core they're running and all these other technical terms, obviously, that people don't really care about. But it just never stops. All the things we use, like to broadcast the race, all the things we use to modify the games, to get these cool camera angles that I can get, all this stuff is donated, not, or maybe not so much donated, but oops, what happened? There we go.
And my hat's off to Jeff, because I've run my own leagues before, and you gotta, not only do you gotta keep the points up, you gotta get the keep everybody in check. You've got to keep the website current. There's so much stuff that you got to do, and back in our day, we used to actually do we would do a write up on the thing and post it on the website as well. So I mean, there can be a lot of behind the scenes stuff that nobody ever really sees.
Oh, a write up, like a post race kind of newsletter. That's
hey
pretty
now.
Cool. Hey now.
Hey now.
We have your special guest. Give him a mic.
Randy Waugh, the 21 truck. I said truck. And
good,
yeah, man.
Very good.
So, United Cerebral Palsy, UCP.org. Well, yeah, I'll let you do all the talking, man. This is a great cause. So
thank you, Blaine and Rod. Yeah, this is a charity that's dear to my heart. My son Corey has cerebral palsy, and this is to make it more aware and maybe get some donations, and hopefully they can find a cure for it. It's a lifelong disease, so you're battling it for a long time. And like Corey, he's the happiest kid I've ever met, and he loves everybody. Everybody loves him. But he's had struggles in his life, and so there's a lot of kids that really have it worse than he does. I mean, there's some out there that can't talk, can't walk. It can be really debilitating. But
does it affect the brain? How does it work? I'm not really. I mean, obviously the word cerebral, it does affect the brain somehow.
Yeah, it is a brain disease, and you get it when you're born. You don't get it later in life. You're born with it.
Okay.
But it can affect different parts of the brain. It can affect it in different ways. Your fine motor skills, gross motor skills. It can delay you mentally, physically. It can affect all different kinds of things. And all kids that have it, and adults, I mean, you grow into an adult with it. It doesn't get worse over your lifetime, but it's really hard to live with. It's very challenging for everybody that has it.
Yeah, it's a group effort, eh? We're scrolling pictures of your son Corey here on the screen. So is he watching live? Because we know Corey likes to hear his name, so now he actually gets to see himself on the broadcast.
Yes, he is watching live for the first time. He's
Awesome.
Sitting in there on the couch right now watching it, and I can't see him, but I guarantee he's thrilled to death.
So I can see just from these pictures, he's got no shortage on Alabama Roll Tide gear.
Oh yeah, he's a big Bama fan, just like his daddy.
It's like every picture, there's I think it was a blanket. The thing looked like it was about the size of the entire room. Looked like Christmas morning or something.
Yeah, he's. I brought him up that way. Almost everything I own has Alabama.
Yep.
So, but yeah,
That's
he loves Alabama.
Yeah, everything in our family. My dad's a huge Boston Bruins fan, so it just you teach your kids to like the right team, and of course, right team in quotation marks, right? Because everybody's passionate about their sports teams.
Yeah. We don't watch pro very much, but we keep up with the college side of that. And we're going to an Alabama baseball game Tuesday night, so he's excited about that.
Oh, but Ken, that was going to be my next question. Have you ever gone to any of the games? Have you gone to the football games before?
Oh yeah, we've been to a few games. He really enjoys that too.
Well, since you're in Alabama, you've been to Talladega SuperSpeedway?
Yes, we've been there a couple times.
That makes sense. Yeah, it seems like that place seems like an anomaly. Like it just seems like its own thing, almost like you're on a different planet, just watching these behind the scenes of these NASCAR races. I've never been able to go to one. That definitely has to be a bucket list thing, because that would be amazing to be in a venue like that.
Oh, it is, man. Those cars go by so fast. You wouldn't believe what 200 miles per hour is like when you're sitting still and they're going by you.
Wow.
Yeah, walking down the fence and somebody like 50 feet in front of you is wearing a baseball hat, and cars go by, like make 4 or 5 of them in a group, and his hat goes out behind you. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Hey guys, I'd like to intervene real quick. I do want to say thanks to Randy Wall for the sponsorship and the calls, and hopefully we'll find a cure someday for that. We are at a reset happy hour. Randy, are you ready to jump back up there and do driver intros, wrap this up, Blaine, and we'll get you guys ready.
I'm ready. Thank you, Blaine.
Yeah, thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Rod.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Randy, and good luck tonight, man. It'll be an awesome race this evening. So yeah, let's go meet the drivers.
Okay, can you move people back and forth? All right, guys. Rod, you got control of this?
Absolutely, buddy.
All right, I'm going to make sure the guys are quiet and give him about 5 seconds and move him up there, okay?
10-4.
Cool. After qualifying.
So you've never been to a NASCAR race, man. You have not lived. No. I don't like to go. Don't like to go. So I say that. I know it's kind of funny when I say that, but the reason why I don't like to go is a long day. But it's amazing the speeds at Loudon. So I've been to Loudon. I've been to Daytona. It's amazing the speeds that they travel under caution. It'll blow your mind.
Wow, yeah, just under caution, 7 miles
just
an hour.
Under caution.
Highway speed, yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's no ladies in here. Good evening, gentlemen. Race number 8. And we're getting close to the playoffs. So it's exciting. We got lots to talk about when it comes to the point standings and how everything is looking on our way to the race number 10, 11, and 12 being the finals. But again, thanks to Randy for the sponsorship this evening. And it looks like the qualifying has Jeffrey Elliott in first place. So we'll go to Jeff and meet the drivers.
Thank you, Blaine. Yes, Jeffrey Elliott out of Mooresville, North Carolina, driving the 56 Chevy. I want to thank Roddy Sullins for the paint job. It's awesome. Roddy and also Frank, you guys do great work for all of us. And appreciate that. Guys, have a great race. Thank Randy Wall for the sponsorship. Let's get it on, boys.
Starting outside the front row, Rodney Sullins from Bentonville, Arkansas, driving number 38, Vanna Brisa, Black Rifle Coffee Chevy Silverado. Thanks, Jeff, Chris, Elliott, Talladega Nights, TTV, Blaine, and Rod. Randy, thanks, buddy. I know this is close to your heart. Thanks for sponsoring this. And, let's have a good night.
Starting third, driving the 55 Tostito Silverado, painted by Rodney Sullins out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Thank you, Randy. And this race for you, Corey.
Starting fourth in a 931 out of Lancaster, South Carolina, Robert Breedlove. Thanks, Randy, for the sponsor.
Starting fifth out of Big Stone Gap, Virginia, driving the 41 American Ordnance, painted by Rodney Sullins.
Starting in sixth, the 388 from Big Stone Gap Racing, the Gray Ghost Nationwide truck. Thanks, Frank, for the paint job. Thanks, Randy, for the great sponsorship here in this race. And thanks for all you racers out there. Let's go get them.
Rolling off 7, Randy Wall from Huntsville, Alabama, driving the number 21 UCP Dodge, painted by Frank Divins. Thank you, Frank. Shout out to my sons Christian, Corey, grandsons Adrian, Asher, and Asa. And everyone out there, check out ucp.org. Have a good race. Thank you.
Rolling off 8th, Kelly Causey from Agricola, Mississippi, in a 00 Bucky Chevrolet Silverado. Thanks to Randy for a great sponsorship.
Hey, rolling off 9th out of Lewis, Delaware. Greg Palmer driving a 22. Flamin' Hooters Chevy Silverado. Thanks to Rodney Sullins for painting my truck, and Randy Wah, great cause. Looking forward to donation. Bye-bye.
Starting 10th in the 63 Chevrolet Silverado, Keith Bynum. I just want to say good luck to everybody racing, and donations for all the different medicines and the doctors that discover healings and things for the people. And we pray for everybody to give more for that, and we're thankful. Good luck.
Starting at 11th, Javier Negron from the Bridgeport, Connecticut, driving the number 4 Sundrop Toyota Tundra. Thanks, Danny, for the sponsorship, and let's go.
Starting 12th, the 98 of Zach Roberts, driving a Fanta Toyota truck. Thanks, Danny, for the sponsor. Good luck, guys. Good calls.
Starting in 13, Mike Mangialardi from Federal Way, Washington, driving the 29 Blackhawk Down truck. I give a shout out to my friends watching at the Rainier Room and at House Divided. And thank you, Randy, for the sponsorship, and good luck, everybody.
Starting 14th in the number 80 Dodge, painted by Mr. Frank Divins. Shout out to Randy for the sponsorship, man. You and your boys in my prayers, buddy. Let's have a good race, guys.
Starting 15th in number 82 West Virginia Tourism Ford F-150. Thank you, Randy, for the sponsorship tonight. Let's go get it tonight, Corey.
Starting 16th in the number 8 truck, Greg Lovell from Big Stone Gap. Thank you, Randy, for the sponsorship. Thank you, Frank, for the paint scheme. And thanks to all the admins and everybody here. Let's have a fun race tonight, guys.
Starting in 17th, Stephen Brandstetter from Randlett, Oklahoma, driving the 510 Oklahoma State University F-150, painted by Blaine Donlan. Let's have a good race, guys.
Starting 18th, driving the 28 Ford F-150 Raptor, Mark Paglia from Gainesville, Georgia. Thank you, Randy, for the sponsorship.
Starting 19th, number 24, Graham McDonald from Sarnia, Ontario. I say thank you, Rodney Solons, for the paint job. Good luck, everybody.
Starting 20th out of Sun City Center, Florida, it's Frank Devins driving the Chase Elliott Napa Ford truck. Want to thank Randy for the sponsorship tonight. Make sure everybody go to ucp.org and donate. I want to thank Blaine for the broadcast, and of course Jeffrey and the admins for everything they do. And go forward.
Starting 21st, Bobby Farrell, Frederica, Delaware, and then number 77, Bama Buggy Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports.
John Godfrey, 711, LaJoy's Silverado.
Perry Bond from somewhere in Virginia, driving the 60. Just thank you, Randy, for the great sponsorship, and let's go racing, guys.
Starting in 24th, Ulysses the Papi Sandoval, driver of the 96 Toyota Tundra, racing for Team Wrecking Ball. A big shout out to all my buddies for Team Wrecking Ball. We are already 8 members named, so let's get it done, everybody.
Starting 25th, the number 66 from Orrington, Maine, driving the New York Yankee Silverado Chevy. Thank you, Randy, for sponsoring this race. Guys, appreciate the racing with you. Let's everybody have a good race.
Starting 26th, this 188, driven by Larry D. Rubenstein out of Georgetown, Massachusetts. And we're driving the 188 Boston Red Sox Silverado. Thank you, Randy, for sponsoring this race tonight.
Starting 28, number 6, Brian Ross in Heath, Texas. Thanks, Randy, for the sponsorship. Jeff and everybody that does everything for the league, Talladega Nights. And thanks to the master, Rodney Solons, for always painting everything, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Start number 29, Tom Dixon, number 45, Chevrolet Batman car from Byron, Georgia. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you, brother. Good luck, guys.
Starting 30th, Garland Oaks, number 67, from Martinsville, Virginia, driving the Diet Dr. Pepper Toyota Toyota Tundra. Give a shout out for Javier for all the paint schemes on the Wrecking Ball crew, and to a big shout out to Zach for the big win on Friday.
Pushing the field, number 97, Pat McCarsky. Thank you, Randy, and thanks, Tarnation TV.
Well, guys, thank you for your intros. It's always a pleasure to hear all those lovely voices. Thank you for coming out. Guys, first I'd like to give a little prayer out to Nate Balzer, Jim Black, quick healing, get your butts back out here and let's do some racing. We miss you. And we're going to turn it over to Dan to do what Dan does best.
Lord, we thank you for this day you've given us. Lord, we just ask that you lift up those that are out there in the world, Corey and others like him with cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis and any of those debilitating diseases. Lord, we know that you are the healer of all diseases. You said in your word, by your stripes we are healed, and that you heal all sickness. So we place it in your hands, Lord. We ask that you watch over them, be with them, heal them, and Lord, that you be with us drivers as we race tonight. Keep us courteous and respectful to one another, and let this friendship last forever. And Lord, we just ask that you be with us every day, lead us and guide us in your ways, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. All right, Blaine, we appreciate it. I think you wore us out with your idea of that race last night. We stayed up 5 hours just for you, Blaine. But hey, we're here to support Randy and Talladega Nights. Let's have a good race, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, can I say too, thanks to everybody who showed up yesterday and they're back here again tonight. That's amazing. It was a great success. And yeah, just a reminder, Randy, his son Corey is watching tonight. So everybody just say hi to Corey. He loves it when we say his name.
What's up,
Hello, Corey.
Hello, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
It's Corey.
Thank you, Corey.
Corey, I love you, man.
Hey, Corey, you watch this 66 New York Yankee truck. I'm going to try to put her in the winner's circle tonight for you, buddy.
¿Qué onda, Curry?
Or your daddy.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Blaine.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Blaine.
There we go. Big shout out for Corey at the end there for the from the Bays.
That was pretty good. Now, a good shout out first. I got to say hi to Corey out there. We're putting a race on for you tonight, bud. Hopefully we can make you proud, and hopefully your dad can get up there and do well tonight. He's a really good super speedway racer. But I think the thing that made me chuckle the most is when we got to position 25 and 26. Now, some of you guys may not understand this, but the 66 Ken Huntsberry is in a Yankees truck.
Oh, yeah.
And Larry D is in a Red Sox truck.
Yeah.
It made me chuckle so much.
Was there a little thing there? I didn't even really realize that.
If you're not in New England, okay. The big thing in New England is the Boston Red Sox. So,
Right.
and I had to chuckle when Randy Waugh was talking about how he had him in the tire of his favorite team. Well, my daughter is a Red Sox fan. I'm a Yankees fan, and they know Red Sox and Yankee fans usually get along. Me and Larry D are good friends. He, like I said, I'm a Yankees. He's Red Sox. But it just made me chuckle that they were starting side by side.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of guys out here running the paint schemes, and I forgot to mention too, every time I talk about the painters, I forget to talk about Javier Negron, because he does the paint jobs for the Wrecking Ball squad, being the Soda Pop sponsorships is usually how they roll. Because Javier actually had a few questions for me, because he was having these massive car file sizes that were like, and so did Pat McCarsky, because Pat McCarsky paints as well. And sometimes there's issues compressing the digital art file down. So when it's on a car, it'll be like 12 megabytes. You can compress it down to like 1 megabyte and the car looks exactly the same. And it's a lot more friendly to your computer. So yeah, I've lent some tips to those guys before and helping them compress those files to keep them down under the 2 to 3 megabyte maximum is what they like. For car sizes. But yeah, I always mention Rodney Sullins, Frank Divins, Bernie Mobbs, even Kelly Causey does a lot of paints too, and I always forget to mention Pat and Javier as well. So a lot of people dipping into the paint schemes, a lot of awesome paint jobs, a lot of unique styles. It's always a very colorful looking field.
Yeah, and being a painter myself, I haven't done it really much as of late, but I've done it myself. And I think one of the big tricks too is you always, instead of doing it in 2048, you'd always do it in 1024. That helps too. Takes a little bit.
Yeah,
when you're doing it in paint shop. Yeah.
Yeah, I find it's easier to work in 1048 square. And then because there's more space, and then when you export it, make sure you flatten it down. Divide by 50% or whatever, divide by 2 or whatever it is, shrink it down by 50%, and then apply it to the car. Those
the guys
high
that got
def ones
some
can be pretty good.
They got some really nice looking trucks out here tonight. So hats off to the painters. They do really good jobs.
Yeah, we're looking at a few of them right now. Looks like I've actually got them all downloaded. Last night during the broadcast, I totally forgot that we just had so much stuff going on that Jeff actually made a map. Where did it go?
Oh, the one showing where everybody's from. Yep.
Yeah, he made a map. I had it here somewhere. I just hit the wrong button. I was queuing up the national anthem, which we're going to have to go to probably right now anyway. But yeah, he made a map. Oh, there it is. Where everybody is from. And it's cool to see, a lot of east side. There's a few over there on the west coast. Yeah, all the drivers across North America. We are definitely from a lot of different places. And with the glory of the internet, we're able to do this every day.
Yeah, I've raced in plenty of leagues where we've actually had people from Japan, Australia, all over the world, and remarkably, they're really good. I do like the back of Randy Waugh's truck. Let's do this, Corey. That's pretty good. Corey's out there watching, and this is for him tonight. It'd be really cool to see Randy Waugh pull one off tonight.
Oh, he is out on the track. Cool. I was trying to see if he was out there. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, he's even got Corey Waugh written on the back window.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah. That's awesome.
So let's do this, Corey. There it is. Spin around this truck. Got Corey Waugh written right across the back window. It's on the trunk.
And Randy's a pretty good.
Yeah.
Randy's a pretty good little super speedway racer. He's won a few of these. Everybody here's got a chance. We know that, and it really depends on just how your race goes and who's behind you. But it'd just be nice to see him be able to pull one off. It's awesome what he's doing tonight. We really appreciate it.
He's got Corey on the hood. He's got him on the doors.
He got him everywhere.
This guy's everywhere. What's the name over the door? Corey Waugh over the door. What about this side? Randy Waugh, of course, the driver. So he's got that written above the driver door.
I was going to say maybe Corey's driving. We don't know that.
He's helping because his name's on the passenger side.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Looks like we're going to need to go and do some national anthem stuff. So let's get to it. The Star Spangled Banner coming right at you. All right, there's your national anthem. Thank you for singing along if you did. Retire my car there. And we will send it over to the Balser family for the Grand Marshal duties of this evening. Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome to Talladega Nights SuperSpeedway, one of the fastest tracks around. Presented by Talladega Nights Racing League and brought to you by Tarnation TV. Drivers, start your engines!
I just jump back in, get back in there, and get going.
Yeah, that's it. My game just wants to do it now. But as the grid does their parade lap, I will reboot my game. But yeah, thanks again to Randy for sponsoring tonight's race. Thanks again to the Balser family girls for doing the Grand Marshal duties as well.
And Jeff Elliott on the pole. Now, he's been trying to keep us very confused. Last night he was in the 16. Tonight he's in the 56. So I think last night he had somebody else that was going to requested that he had number 56. So he jumped into the 16. But
I think it was Nick Gunther that runs.
Yes,
he runs
right,
the 56. Yeah.
I couldn't think of it for a minute. And then you mentioned it, and that reminded me that that was who was in the 56 last night for Wrecking Ball. And we're talking about the paints, the Wrecking Ball paint, as we discussed it last night. That was really cool looking.
Yeah, it was neat because the great big Wrecking Ball on the side, it looked so cool on that white truck. It just popped, and it looked like the car was actually damaged, like they drove into something. It was pretty cool.
Now we've got the green flag out, and Jeff Elliott's pacing the field right at the moment, and until we get into turn one here. Looks like Rodney Sutherland's got a little bit of a lead on him going into the corner, but you also got to consider, Jeff didn't quite get a good start on that. He slacked back a little bit, but that could be by design too. You don't want to get into trouble, so sometimes it's just, we have a caution already.
Oh, no, really? I'm almost back in here. Here we go.
Trying to pick up what happened. You just give me a second here.
Right. I won't be able to see it because the game, I believe, actually, you know what? Let's just go into replay mode, see if I can actually find it.
All right. Happened about the middle of the pack here. I got to just catch the guy that, where it started finally, kind of.
I don't know if I can rewind that far. I don't know if I got connected again as that incident happened.
Apologize. I'm trying to catch up to where it was. It looks like Tom Dixon got tangled up with somebody, got a little bumper help going into the corner, but there was kind of an accordion effect. And I think that had a lot to do with what was going on in the front row there, where Jeff Elliott didn't quite get the start. And by not really getting the start, I think he kind of bottled up the field just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It did. It all kind of, bottled up the field a little bit, and when it did, it was just everybody's going in. You're trying to shift up through the gears and trying to get your speed up really good. I think that's Greg. Craig. I mean, he ended up upside down.
Oh no, yeah. See, they run no damage tonight, so I wonder. That's too bad about the stack up on the maybe a missed shift or just a. Okay, some of the front runners decided to come in. That's pretty interesting. I got to reset my pit lane stuff here too, because with the game crash.
I think a lot of your drivers that you'll see come in, if they were involved in the incident, even though there's no damage, they'll come in to get fresh tires, because if you slide sideways at all, that is going to, obviously going to ruin the tires. But the other guys that'll be coming in, like we talked about last night, if you've got possibility that Jeff Elliott and Ken Roberts have been talking a little bit, maybe they're like on that aspect of, well, if we pit now, we can go 3 laps more. And then when we pit, we're not pitting with everybody. We're pitting just a few of us.
Right.
That would be my guess. Who knows?
And again, like that's that thing too, where it's early in the race and it's always a good call. Sorry about that.
I do it. I do it all the time. I'll not qualify and start in the back, and even that early.
Okay.
We got you, buddy.
Go ahead, 56.
Yeah, I want to put that one on me. My truck just didn't want to go. Had to recalibrate the wheel. That's what happened there. Big checkup because of the pole setter.
Now we know what happened. So he had a little wheel issues. We talked about that last night. How you can come in here, race all night, and do good, and then all of a sudden you have a wheel issue that prevents you from getting full throttle. But that's why he pitted. He went down, recalibrated, and now he should be back to normal.
So Jeff, you were saying that your actual physical controller wasn't set up properly.
Well, I ran the fastest qualifying lap, and then we had a quick restart. And I don't know if that messed up the calibration, but I went into pits and recalibrated. Let's see what happens here. But yeah, I felt bad there. Yeah, it just wasn't going.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks for the update. That's unfortunate, but it's a long race, so let's get it in.
10-4, and this is why we don't have damage on, I guess.
Nice. Yep. Thanks, Jeff.
Anyway, all right, guys.
John Godfrey must have got caught speeding on pit road because he is getting an longest line penalty. He's been down low on the track waiting for everybody to go by him. And now we know what happened. He didn't get full throttle, and that kind of bottled up the inside line. Unfortunately, the according effect, as we talked about before, usually doesn't happen right where the driver that causes the slow down. It doesn't usually happen there. It usually is 4, 5, 6, 8 cars back. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And then we had a few trucks get kind of spun around. Luckily, no damage. And then caution came out. They'll all get lined back up. They get fresh tires and see what they can do about making their way back to the front.
Some guys coming down here for a quick top up. And like you were saying about Jeff with the controller, when qualifying, he set a blister in a qualifying lap. They actually run different wheel settings to qualify. If any of those settings were forgotten, that may have affected the launch.
Absolutely. And like I've said before, I'm not a great super speedway racer, but coming over here and running with these guys on the Thursday night deal, haven't run one of the truck races yet, but just listening to Jeff, a lot of the guys, the different settings they do, the different things that they do, I still hasn't improved my qualifying time much, but it has improved my, super speedway racing pretty good. Now, can I beat Denny Carroll and Greg, and all them great super speedway racers? Oh, probably not.
Yeah, when I jumped into the online thing back in the day when this came out, you're on the Sierra servers. And I just raced publicly. I wasn't in a league. And, you just get out there and you race. And then when I got back into it, it was all league-based, obviously, because Sierra's long gone. So the thing with that was now you're on TeamSpeak, you're talking to guys, and they could see, like, man, you're pretty jittery in the corners. I'm like, yeah, I guess. And they're like, what do you run for steering assistance? So I'm like, well, I use a wheel, so I don't run any. And they're like, well, you should probably run, 10 to 20. I'm like,
linearity,
oh, okay.
That's another one.
So, yeah, linearity, because you're on a wheel, your linearity should be at 0, because I think it's 0.
100.
Or is it the other way, 100?
Yeah, 100. 100. At 100%, you get the actual feel of the wheel. The lower you bring it, the wheel actually... So basically, the lower of the linearity is like running on a keyboard. So it gives you the ability to hit a key, and it doesn't just go bang, instant left. It rolls, it kind of, sort of. So the more linear you have, the more feel you'll have in the wheel. But I've heard these guys do strange things for qualifying. By changing that down, you don't actually, I would say, overturn the wheel. Would be the best way to do it, which can scrub speed.
I think what happens is it scrubs speed when you move your wheel. So when you have more assistance on and maybe a little bit less linearity, the game almost drives itself. And on a big, gigantic track like this, where you're basically just leaning into the corners anyway, the game will just take control of it. So you're not moving your wheel to scrub those quarter seconds. And it's a big deal. It does make sense.
And that's something that I could never understand. Back years ago, I always ran. I've never run a force feedback wheel. I had a Momo, but I never raced with it. It was always used for other games and such. But I've never understood it. But a friend of mine, he had the Momo. He raced, and I got on his computer one time, and I turned into the corner, and I'm like, I don't know how people can do this, because it was literally like turning for you is the way I want to put it. Almost felt like it was. And I didn't like that. To me, it's uncomfortable. To some people, it's, what they need to feel.
See, and that's the thing with the wheel. I again, 100%. So when I make a move, it makes a move. It's 100% locked on precision, where I do run a 20% on the steering assistance, because especially on big tracks like this, you can get a little wonky in the corners, because you just don't want that to happen. That'll actually help stabilize your car. It's weird how it works, but it's fantastic that option is actually there, because it helps people with all different kinds of controllers run great races. And all these people in these race servers will help you get your stuff set up and tuned up properly.
One of the things that I've learned that is the more stability that you have, it is better for bump drafting. So when you get hit in the rear, I only run normally. I run 4 steering assistants, and people are like, well, why do you only run 4? Well, because it does. Even at Martinsville, it wouldn't matter where you go. If somebody gets into the back of you, it helps. Now we're back green.
Robert Breedlove leading the pack to the front there, but big jump by Dan Level, just leapfrogged him. Oh no, I think Breedlove has actually blown an engine.
No, and he collects a few. And unfortunately, there was 3 trucks on the outside that were starting to make a run, and they had nowhere to go because Breedlove just slid right up in front of them.
Oh no, I was wondering what happened there, because that's not like Breedlove to start like that.
No, and that I tell you, you go into the corner and the engine blows up on you. Literally, sometimes you have no control of it. You are just a passenger at that point in time. Braking, whatever, your steering wheel is going to help, but usually what happens is rear wheels lock up. The thing just goes around so quick, you have no time to react.
You always went from first to second to third, and then from third it just drops. And with no power in those wheels, we're talking about that every time we talk about keeping power in the wheels. That is definitely, when you get down on the flat part too. See if we can get inside the cockpit.
You know, a good confidence booster, you know, our most recent truck winner, Zach Roberts, he's currently in 2nd place.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I haven't been, paying attention to see whether he's, how he's got there and whatnot, but...
56 should have moved.
Yeah.
56, go ahead.
Oh, we had a blown motor there on the 931.
Yeah, we were watching this restart there, and it looked like we saw the smoke, and then it was just a matter of time.
Well, the gremlins are out tonight.
To say the least, yeah.
We can't get started here. Let's see. We had a wheel failure and a blown motor.
Yeah, and I've been having my game actually crashed, so I've been wrestling with the tickers and the information and stuff like that. So I think I got it all working now. But yeah, it's been quite the start. I think we got the gremlins out of the system now. I think we're good to go.
Okay, 10-4.
And
it's the end of the week, boys. It's the end of the week, boys.
And I really think a lot of it is we might have overheated your system last night going for 4.5 hours.
It's possible.
But yeah, it's funny how last week we ran this race we did ironically have 1 blowed motor, but tonight it's just been 2 cautions. They'll get it straightened out. Like I said, it's just weird things.
And it is.
Zach Roberts.
Yeah, mechanical issues on Jeff's side on the physical controller side of it, and then with Robert, blowing an engine. It's just nothing you can do about it, especially when you're sitting in first place on the front row at a restart. Like, there's nowhere for you to go. You try your best to get down to that apron, but then you see what happens when the truck plateaus off that transition with no power in the wheels. You're on the brakes and hoping it doesn't slip back up into the track, and it did, unfortunately.
I would imagine with Breedlove, with it lock, you literally have no control of it. The rear ends lock up, so it's just like pulling an e-brake on the car. The car just whips around, and granted, it was just on the restart of the race, so they weren't going close to 200 miles an hour like they normally would be, but it's still fast enough to where it could cause it's so hard to control it once the rear wheels lock up.
Yeah. Looking at the current standings here, seeing where Robert Breedlove was sitting in 11th place in the championship points. Today's DNF is not going to be fun unless they can fix the damage, but I doubt it. We saw black smoke coming out of the back of that truck. So I think he's done for tonight. But there's, again, which could be good for some people that aren't in those playoffs. We're getting close. There's this race and the race on the the 7th? That race is the 9th race, and we lock it in when that one's all said and done for the championship points. If there is any ties, we will bring all the drivers in. It's not just the top 12. It could be 13, 14, 15 people. But Oh man, it gets fun later in these seasons, especially when we're tracking all these points. Like, look at these points, for instance, right now. You got Greg Lovell in first place overall. He's got a win. His worst finish is 14th in race 6. He finished 14th. That's his worst finish. He has 3 wins. He's got 1,078 points. In second place, Doug Hewlick with 1,000 points, only 78 points behind Greg. And Doug actually used a provisional in race 5. And Doug only has 1 win. But he's in second, and he's that close to Greg. It's just the consistency. It all comes down to that. You know, it is crazy to look at that, where how does Greg have, is it 3 wins? Yeah, Greg has 3 wins.
I think one of the wins had a penalty. One of the wins had a penalty.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, because one of them's red. Is 175 a win, or is that second?
175 is a win. Then, of course, you're going to get 5 for leading a lap, and then you're going to get 5 for leading the most laps. So I don't believe he did that.
Yeah, in race 1, he led the most laps. So he got 170 for the win, a bonus 5 for leading that lap, obviously, and then another bonus 5 for leading the most. But yeah,
so
there's a red square on the third. So
if you look at Doug Hillock on the third race, he actually got 5 more points in second place than Greg Lovell did. So probably he led the most laps.
Right. That's it. Yeah, leading the laps and just
you get one
there every week.
He got 170 for the win. He also got 5 for leading a lap, and then Greg Hewlick led a lap for 5 points and then led the most. So he actually made more points than he did. Keith Bynum, is on the lead, out in the lead. He must have caught him on pit road there, and Ken Hunsberry in the Yankee truck is on the outside.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, took our focus off the race a little bit there to focus on some points. And we've got a new front row, Hunsberry and Bynum, and right behind Bynum we've got Jeffrey Elliott. So, there goes Buckshot, headed down pit lane from the probably 5th position.
Yeah, there again, it's a fuel mileage thing. You know, they're just trying to get themselves in a situation where they can possibly pit with less trucks.
Yeah. Or have the option, because I've actually been trapped on the outside line. You know, like you see your pit window coming. I got about 4 laps to go. I want to try to work my way down there. But when you're racing on a super speedway like this, and it's a full race, I think it happened at Rolling Thunder actually, where I was trapped on like the high line, because I love running a high line, and I couldn't get down. You know, I tried to get into the pits early. Okay, couldn't make it early. No big deal. Got lots of gas left. Couldn't get down the next lap. Ended up basically running out of fuel because I just couldn't make it down there without causing an accident. Like you'd have to cut somebody off. And, you know, you don't know who you're running into, especially when you're committing to pit road. It's really wide track down there. I mean, you're talking 20 cars across. Like, you can't really see who's there. And your spotter's not going to say anything unless you're on the actual track line. Once you dip below the apron, spotter's not telling you where cars are. So it's like, can I make a hard left right now? And you don't know who's there. So it's like you run out of fuel.
It can be hard. And that's two cars for you, so that you're up by 2.
That's the thing.
And Jeff Elliott's back in 3rd there. We got the lights out on the pace truck. So, and Denny Carroll, last week's winner, on the outside. Of course, right behind him, he's got Dan Lovell in the 388. I love that paint scheme. We've got the 3 for Dale Earnhardt and the 88 for Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's kind of a cool way to do the numbers.
Yeah, very cool. I do like it. Frank painted that truck. I think he gets credit for painting that truck. He told me a story about that truck, and I'm a big fan of the numbering system too. I don't know who came up with that, but it's definitely neat. Focused on Keith Bynum there in the 63, hubcap Annie. That's his business.
I mean, you look right behind, I think it's U-Man. Yep, U-Man. You've got Greg Lovell on that Midnight Moon truck. He's going to be one to watch. But I think you'll see one thing about Greg Lovell is he's got a good points lead. So he's just going to try to do the best he can. Try to get, if he can help his teammates, I know when teammates, it sounds kind of funny when we're talking about that now. The teams don't necessarily get any team points, but by having teammates, you'll see a lot of times these guys will try to get themselves together and work together, very much so like they did last week, where we had 3 of the guys from Big Stone Gap Racing on the bottom, and just, they did 1, 2, and 3, or I think it was 1, 2, and possibly the third truck was in 4th.
Well, even here, I can see 3 Team Wrecking Ball trucks in the top, probably 10 right there. I can see Ulysses Sandoval, I can see Javier Negron, and I can see Zach Roberts on that bottom line, only separated by Greg Lovell. That's Team Wrecking Ball, and they'll try to
running in front
find
right each other.
Yep.
They'll do the best they can. They'll try to find each other. Mind you, they're all out here trying to win, but and there's no team points. So, but the best thing about having a teammate out there is sometimes you know that you look in that rearview mirror, this guy's not going to leave me out hanging. They're going to go with me, and then they'll follow you through.
Right. Like if I know I'm going to need to pit in the next 10 laps, and then now they know, okay, you're beside me. Maybe they'll create a gap so you can come down. Like, hey, Zach, you're clear. So now Zach knows he can come down. Being teammates, you might get that favor. You might get that favor from anybody if you ask nicely enough, but you're probably going to get it more so from your teammates.
Yeah, but I think you'll find most of your teammates, you guys are actually, they have whisper buttons on here. So like what you've been doing, when we talked to Jeff Elliott, he's out there actually racing, but he's whispering to us. That's why, you hear a little bit different noise to it. I don't know if you have that sound coming through. Yep. But the whisper, they have teammates, they all whisper each other. So they're talking about, hey, you're leading, how much fuel you got left? Let's try to get together. When it gets close to it, we'll see. Right now it's side-by-side racing. Pretty soon, as you've always said, and it always catches me off guard because you pay attention more to the fuel and when they're getting close than I do. But all of a sudden, you'll start kind of see them doing stuff that's just not out of the ordinary, and you're like, well, what are they doing? And it's like, oh, they're trying to get to the bottom because they're all going to pit. They'll pit together.
Even yesterday in the Mega Marathon race, we saw Team I'm on Fire in the main event. All 5 of them actually dropped to the back at the start and dropped about 5 seconds off pace on purpose. Yeah. All 5 of them stuck together. They had a nice big, quarter of a lap gap to the main pack and let the main pack drive away from them. And it actually, early on in the race, worked in their favor because there was a couple of big accidents because it was a long night. Drivers were probably a little bit tired. And it's also an all-star race from all drivers from all different kinds of leagues coming in. So maybe drivers aren't familiar with certain styles. You get a little bit different racing styles. You get some different accidents happening. They had lots of time to react to that stuff. They had a good 5 to 10 seconds to react to those accidents.
Last lap there,
I've never seen that strategy before.
We had the Yankees truck out front. He was running up there out front, and then he got kind of hung out to dry. So now we're going to you have to say it, Larry D's Red Sox right now currently are ahead of the Yankees, but they're pretty close together. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Red Sox or the Yankees come out on top.
So this is the race within the race then. So let's check this out.
It's just
the Yankees.
Just a little fun, nudge to throw in there. I know how big of a fan the Larry D is of Red Sox, and it struck me as funny, so I just had to bring it up.
And then there's the Red Sox on 14th. So 14th to 20th. Yeah. So far, like you said, the Red Sox are leading it.
Jeff Elliott's running the charge on the outside. It'll be interesting to see if any of the trucks that are down on the bottom line kind of see what's going on and pull up in there. But you got Denny Carroll up on the high side. You got Greg Lovell on the bottom side, and they're going to try to find each other. They will.
Yep, definitely.
And you got the 388. Dan Lovell's there. Big Stone Gap Racing. I know I talk about them a lot, but I race with them guys a lot. They're so much fun to race with, and I love to watch these guys run because when they get together, they actually do real well here.
Sometimes it looks like they're actually beating each other up, which is also fun to watch. Like, aren't these guys teammates? I'm like, yeah, but they're using their bumpers to push each other. They're really aggressive bump drafters, and they know it's coming, so they're always ready for it. And it's fun to watch the nose get up underneath that spoiler and just start pushing each other down that, almost lifting the wheels off the ground.
So then you get to the fun part of it is you watch them here. They all work together. They work well together. Come by on a Monday or a Tuesday. They don't work together at all. They are racers and they want to win. And they race each other. Very good, but very hard.
That's such good stuff, though. Love it. Word from the 931 garage. We just got word that it was an engine header was the cause for the failure on the Breedlove mobile.
He stuck it out for a little while. Hopefully they get to the crew that can possibly fix it. But once they open the hood, they got down in there. They realized it was terminal, and that's unfortunate for him.
Mm-hmm. Checking the engine header. You can see there on the left of the screen for the 931. Also looking at the fastest lap of the night so far, Rodney Sullins, 47.829.
Speaking of Rodney, he's got a run started on the high side. He's got John Godfrey, Ken Roberts, and I believe that's Kelly Kaza behind him, Grant McDonald, Greg Palmer. I'm trying to catch that last truck in the line, but they've got a bunch of trucks that are making a run for it on the high side.
Yeah, it looks like
and making it. They're making up time too.
Yep, it looks like you were saying we've got Kelly Buckshot Kazi, we've got Graham McDonald, looks like Greg Palmer, and behind Palmer in that black 28, that's Mark Paglia.
Yep, but it wasn't him. It was actually Craig Haley that was behind him a minute ago. It changes that fast.
Yep.
Ooh, someone just tried to go down low, and I think it was Greg Palmer, but I'm not positive. Tried to go low and clip somebody, and he is barrel rolling down
Palmer
the track.
Is going for a ride. Pace truck going about 300 miles an hour to catch the field. As these guys slow down on the back straightaway, we will load in and we will get on. That's what happens. It's the Tarnation TV curse. So we start talking about some drivers. We started talking about Palmer, and he went, wow, we're going to have to count the spins on this one.
Lot.
Yeah, we're going to have to count the amount of times these wheels come back to the ground. So let's watch it in full motion. Yep. Yeah, landed, wheels down. Something went gnarly in the center there.
I couldn't quite catch what happened, but...
Oh, I think it might have been a bad bump from... It might have been a bad bump from Mark Paglia on the 28.
They were changing positions. They were going from the top to the bottom in the middle. Everybody's trying to figure out what's the best way to... what line has got the run going, and trying to, get in there where the run is going and try to get that into the right position. And I just think it probably went a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Jeff Elliott, though,
really tight on that top line. And that's what happened. Mark was underneath the spoiler, like we were just talking about the 22, and just kinked the chain there.
And Jeff Elliott is still on the lead, but that charge that Rodney Sullins was making on the outside moved him up into second place. So that third groove was getting it done.
Okay, we're going to watch the flips on this 22 is wild. So let's see here.
And Denny Carroll, he ended up in the third position. Like I said, they were running 3 wide, so it was really kind of hard to see who was going to be what, where, and whatnot. But until we get to the line, but Sullins made a really good charge on that outside line with a lot of help from the guys behind him.
I'm counting 7, and this looks like it's going to be 8 flips. I bet you Corey liked that one. Want to see it again, Corey? I'll back it up. What's a camera angle we should use? Should we get on this one? Oh, I don't know about this one. This one's going to make you nauseous. Hold your breath. Don't puke. Going to be a lot of static. The static is always funny. The white noise.
As long as it's not as Randy Wasp rolling around, I'm sure he's happy.
Let's get in the cockpit.
Kelly Kodla is taking over the lead. I don't know if he's standing at the lead a lap, but we'll see how that goes the next time around. Frank Divins right behind him in the technically the 09, but in the 9.
Yes.
Messed that up last night for a little bit. Brian Rosen, that's a new one for me.
Every time I was Rosen in the 6.
Yes.
I got a game we can play here. Every time this truck flips around, we say, Corey, let's go.
All right.
Okay, let's do it. Corey Watt, it's for you, buddy.
Corey, yeah.
And Corey.
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 Corey. Corey.
Corey. Corey. Corey. Corey. Corey.
Corey. Corey.
Corey.
Corey.
Corey. Corey.
Corey. Yeah, there it is.
That's good. I just noticed that I was looking through the roster earlier, and I had actually come across Brian Rosin's name, but I said I have never seen that guy race, and he might have been here last week. I don't know. I don't think he was, but so that's a new one for me tonight.
Right. Let's see where Rosin. Yeah. See, he's in 30th place right now overall, and with 549 points. He's on the short graph on the side, so. I can't tell you how many. I have to trim this part of the thing down just because there's not enough room to put the full graph. So I can't tell you how many races he's actually started. But Brian has been here a couple times. He's usually running a Valvoline sponsorship.
Yeah, and Kelly Kozla did stay out, lead a lap, and then pitted. Frank Divens has inherited the lead. He's got Keith Bynum. I don't know why I want to call him Ken, but Keith Bynum on the outside, and then Rodney Scullins right there back in third. So, of course, Dan Lovell in fourth, and Greg Lovell. You know I talk and praise him a lot, but he's still up there, so he's going to be one to challenge with. I'd like to see Zach come up there and win another one, though. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be neat. That would be definitely neat. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Rodney Scullins having the fastest lap. He's still holding on to that 200.019 miles per hour, that average lap around here. That's an average lap. Like, you actually slow down in the corners. So to get a 200-mile-an-hour average, and we've actually seen 201-mile-an-hour average, you're talking some crazy, crazy good bump draft.
Yep. Absolutely.
Let's see here. So I've got some stats on the points. We had some quick notes here. After last week's win, Denny went from 16th overall, pushed himself up into 9th. Keith Bynum, unfortunately, went from 8th position. He actually missed race 7, so he went from 8th to 18th. That's a big hit in points for Keith. Yeah, he's doing well tonight, though. That'll help. Yeah, right now he's led 11 laps. He's got the most laps led tonight so far. So he's doing good. He's going to need a good finish to reclaim some of those lost points. Eric Lovell, same thing. Did not start race 7. Went from 9th to 19th. The same increment as Bynum. Was in the playoffs. No longer is. Steven Brandstetter was in 10th. And he's now in 7th. Taking advantage of those guys who weren't able to start. And Bobby Farrell started last week's race in 18th overall, and he actually ended up, now he's in 12th, right on the line. You can see there with 810 points. Is he running a 77? Yes, he is. The Bama Boogies.
Frank Devins ended up going down pit road after standing out and leading the lap, handing the lead over to Keith Bynum. I was getting ready to say, the last week's winner, he was in 8th, but now due to the pit stops, he's up into 5th position, right behind Greg Lovell. And now, those guys, they're going to stay together. They'll probably see if they can get Dan in line with them. I don't think you're going to see Craig so much. I mean, Craig wants to win, but I think he's just more, if he can stay up near in the top 5, he's going to be in for sure. So he's more racing smart and then trying to help out his teammates.
You say Craig or Greg?
Greg, sorry.
Right. Because there is a Craig Hagley. He's way back in 20th.
The Greg Palmer. Greg Palmer, yeah.
Yeah.
So many people.
Greg Lovell, Greg Palmer. Yeah, there's all kinds of guys. I'm surprised we've only got one mic. There's usually like 10 mics, but it's only Mike Mangialardi in this series, right today anyway.
And then the rest of the field's overpowered by Lowell's.
Mm-hmm. Big Stone Gap. Team Big Stone. Lights are off on the pace cars, so we are currently focused on the 77 of Bobby Farrell, because we were just talking about him going from 18th to 12th, right on the cusp of the playoffs, currently running in 11th, and we are getting ready to go green, which means we should focus on Keith Bynum again.
Our most recent truck winner is sitting back in 6th place right now, right behind Jeff Elliott and Dan Lovell. So it'll be interesting to see if he can work his way up there. We got a little bit of time still, but at least he's got himself closer into a good position, possibly trying to get 2 in a row.
Yeah, that was a win on Friday, right, in the Fast and Furious series.
Yep.
For Zach Roberts, yeah.
Which is same track, same setup. Just different rules packaged per se. They have damage in that one as well, and I don't know all the rules, but
I think it's a longer race. Here we run 47 laps. I think over there they'd run in 66 on a Friday night.
I've never run on a Friday night, so I don't know the ins and outs to it. But we're back green.
Yeah, every day of the week is different here too. So like, yeah, they've got the truck series running on 2 different days, but today it's 3X, 47 laps, no damage. Over there on Friday, I'm pretty sure it's 66 at 2X. So it's a longer race, different fuel plan. And they run damage.
Which basically means for you, those people out there that don't know what we're talking about, is the game allows you to do 1X, 2X, 3X, or 4X. The higher the number, the more tire wear, the less fuel mileage you'll get. So, like you said, 66 laps at 2X can be about like the same as a 47 lap, at 3X here, per se. Granted, the distance is going to be shorter, but, you're going to pit every 12 to 15, 13 laps here, where on the 2X, you may be 15 to 16 laps.
I think it's 20. I think it's 22. Okay. I think it's 22 on a 2X on this track.
Yeah, but so it's a little bigger.
You're also, like you said, if you have to pit 4 times in a race, you have to pit 4 times in a race here as well. It's a shorter race, you pit more. But the fuel frequency is cool because in real life, they're 4 wide back there. Perry Bond just slipped out of line. And
they're back to that 3 wide.
Yeah, they went 3 to 4. He slipped out of line just a little bit. They took it 4 wide, but they figured it out.
Denny Carroll got on that high line with behind Rodney Sellens behind him, Ken Roberts behind him, and Greg Palmer. And the inside line, you've got Dan Lovell, and he's got no help. So they're going to get by him, but it'll be interesting to see if they can make up enough ground on that third groove to catch up to that lead pack.
How many laps? If you set it to 1X, I think you can get about 50, 60?
To be honest, I don't know. I've never raced anything but 2X or 3X.
Yeah, I think because in real life, if you wanted to run this, because it is a simulator, if you wanted to run the simulator as close to real life as possible, you just set it to,
we got smoke.
Looks
like got a few trucks. I see Graham McDonald going around.
Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to run this game as they do in real life, set your pit frequency to 1 times, and it's 100%. Real life wear. You'll get. I think Talladega. It's probably Pumpkin's in the YouTube chat. He probably knows the answer to this. I think it's about 40 to 50 laps on an actual Talladega 1X.
What happened here was that. Looks like John Godfrey got a little bump in the corner. I'm trying to figure out who was behind him there that tapped him, but he got just a little love tap on the Exeter turn 2 there, and when he did, it looped him around. I see what happened. Yeah, Greg Palmer had to lift a little bit for Ken Roberts. When he did, that slowed him down a little bit. John Godfrey had to lift a little bit, and then the guy behind him. That's right back to that accordion effect. Normally, it doesn't happen too much on the high side, but this time it did.
How many Corys on that one? Just looked like 1. He flipped once. Yeah, like you said, they ran out of room on that top line. And everybody's running so close together. If you do have to lift a little bit to prevent, hitting someone, that will kind of cause a wave through that line. And it's not going to happen right away, but the first couple guys are going to lift, and then that just amplifies as it goes through the pack. Once you get about 2 or 3, 4 rows back, it just starts getting worse, and then something like that will happen.
And that's that accordion effect. Looks like Keith Bynum's probably going to go down pit road with U-Man. Greg Lovell's going to stay out. Probably going to try just lead a lap. I don't know if that's the smart move on his part, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but he doesn't need the points. I think I would have pitted and tried to get himself in a better position. But then again, he may not be pitting. He might be in a strategy where him staying out is probably better. Like you said, you'd rather be up front. I'd rather be in the back. Greg's probably thinking, if I'm up front, I'm safer.
Right. Looks like most of these guys are going to take a couple of tires at least. Perry took right sides. It looks like Tom Dixon is doing all tires. John Godfrey, all tires. He went for a spin, so that makes sense. If you're going around, you're probably going to take a full service. But a couple of drivers did opt for 2 tires only, get some track position on pit road?
You'll see most of the drivers, they'll go in and they'll only take 2 tires if they didn't spin or anything like that, because you don't, like when the caution falls, really a lot of that will depend on how much fuel you need, but for the most part right now, they probably don't need a full tank of gas, but hey, why not put 2 tires on there, and you can get them on there in the length of time that it takes to get the fuel in the truck. Why not?
Yep, exactly. It's a good call. It's under yellow.
Yep, Talladega isn't really. I don't know if they could actually go a full distance on a set of tires. I've never tried it, but
you can,
because the tire wear is minimal here. But it's there. There is a difference in new sets of tires. You come out, especially like we talked before about how the low side sometimes can have a tendency to get a little tight on the exit of 2, especially when you're side by side. So having the newer tires is going to be a definite benefit.
I find too that new tires are actually warmer when you come out of the pits. Like if you run a couple of caution flags, your tire temperatures will come down to like 70 degrees. So you go in and get new ones, they're 120.
Yep, and then that makes them a little stickier because they're warmer.
So by the time, a track that's this size, when you get all the way back around, they've usually cooled down. But on a shorter track, pitting on that last cycle would actually give you warmer tires. We just focused on Craig Hagley here in the 82. He's headed down pit road again. We'll see
now
what
that's just
he's
probably
up
one
to.
of those deals where we're 20 laps away. You know they can't do it on fuel. But the advantage now, if you think about it now, let's say hypothetically, this race goes green. You're going to have to come in and pit. Well, if you pit late, you get maybe half a gallon more of fuel. That's half a gallon less fuel that you have to put in later. So sometimes, round about this point, even though you can't make it, that pit stop could be a bit quicker. You don't take any tires. You just come in, get the required amount of fuel, and get back out as quick as you can.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Craig did end up doing full service. He got both sides replaced. Probably, obviously, jammed as much fuel as possible in that thing.
I would do that. Yeah, I can see why you would do that. You're going to come back out in the back. You've got plenty of time. Throw 4 tires on there, fuel on it, top it all off, get ready to go out there. And like I said, now he's got 4 fresh tires. The next time, should it go green and he has to pit under green, it's just a splash and go.
We haven't done it in a while. We haven't done a crank it up, so we should do a crank it up, especially here on a restart, because that's always cool to sit inside the cockpit. Look at Craig dumping the clutch on that one. Coasting her right down. Are we in a... Well, I guess what I should ask, are the lights off on the pace car?
No, they're still on. They're not off yet. So the other thing, too, though...
Yep.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, the other thing about that pitting, if you only need a splash, you obviously are not going to take tires. If you need half a tank, you're not going to take tires.
No.
If you get down to around 1 tank, you can get a tank of fuel and maybe get tire left sides or right sides. I'd say left sides probably, and still not lose much time. But once you get up to 1.5, you can take 2 tires. Usually, if you take 2 cans of gas, and you are in a position where you really need that, you can get your 4 tires and fuel and still not lose any time, unless you have a random, gun problem on a, whatever. So it's kind of sometimes, a lot of times, you just take 2 and just go with it, unless you did like what John Godfrey did, or Craig Hagley, sorry.
Yep, we had another couple of people come back down again. This will probably be a lights out for the pace car this time by. Coming back
Pace
in
truck.
again for another late, oh yes, the pace vehicle. The lights
There's
are
4.
off. Yep, currently staring at the King of Kings Eliminator advertisement on the screen, April 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Tarnation TV, the King of Kings Eliminator. It's all about watching the back of the field. As the race goes on, we watch the back of the field because you don't want to be last. Like, hey guys, in 2 laps, the last place person will be asked to retire, and then they'll do another 4 or 5 laps, and that guy will be asked to retire. It depends on how many drivers show up for the race on what laps will be retiring cars. But we'll be watching that entire race from the back, watching the race to not be last, to be eliminated. So the King of Kings will be, I think the way they're going to have it set up is as the race goes on, they eliminate those trucks or I think it's cars. We're actually running the men's cup series, I think. As those cars get eliminated, when it's 10 to go, now it turns into a sprint. Then we focus on the front. So it's going to be a very cool, different style race that is all put together by Ken Roberts.
I mentioned something to Jeff, because I thought, an elimination race would be kind of a neat thing. And he said, oh, yeah, we do something like that, but this is how we do it. And he explained to me how the King of Kings work. And I said, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool for the broadcast because we'll have to focus on those back 5 cars and just watch that race. Who cares about the front? These cars are going to be asked to leave the track and retire if they're in last place. So super, super cool. Very, very anxious for those guys running into the back.
Now we saw a little bit of different strategy there. Greg Lovell is now in the lead. He decided to stay out, and I'm not really sure why he thinks that's going to be the beneficial thing to do, but he did. He's got Lovell's team Big Sconap Racing all the way around him. They're 4 of them all together. So that's probably a strategy plan, I think.
See, I wonder, because we had a lot of different pit stops on that last couple of yellows. Greg just choosing track position, maybe thinking there might be more yellows, or just running his fuel strategy the way he's going to run it.
Would have been surprised, and it may happen, but I don't see it working. A lot of times in the Cup Series, you'll see only 2 drivers do it up in the front, but the guy on the bottom won't quite start as quickly as the guy on the outside and allow him to get out in front of him. It's kind of a planned way to get them, nose to tail. But I don't see Greg Lovell backing off. He's a racer.
We've got Rodney Sullins pushing Jeff Elliott on that top line, starting a 3rd line. Jeff had a ton of speed. Denny Carroll actually jumped up to that 3rd line, and Jeff just passed him, drove right by him, no problem. It's like 3 cars behind him now. Is that Jeff?
Yeah.
Who's that on the outside?
Dan
it was Dan Lovell. I'm
Dan
looking
Lovell,
at it from
Jeff's down on the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Right in front of little Zach there.
I was looking at it from helicopter, so I just saw the Tarnation TV logo, the Talladega Nights logos, and got them mixed up.
So you've got the outside line is forming up out there, so they might be able to roll back up there to the front, just like we saw them do before. They got Larry D in the front of it with Ken Roberts giving him a good shove down there. Looks like John Godfrey behind him. I haven't quite got back there yet. Let's see here. And the Rodney Sullins is on the inside there, the end of the inside part of it. There it goes. Javier pulls up in front of Larry D. See the run coming. We got somebody losing
Godfrey just went right between everyone.
Good save, though.
I guess, yeah. I'm going to back that up. Same thing.
I'm not sure where Godfrey was, but that really killed the momentum of that 3rd line.
Yeah, he was 21st, and he just crossed the line 28th. But now he's going to be without the draft. Bump from Mark Paglia in the tri-oval. It just sent that 7-11 just sideways.
So that 3rd group decided to pull down. It had Javier in the front of there in the 4 Sundrop truck. He pulled down behind Rodney Sullins because they weren't making up any ground. So they figured he'd get down there, get a run on it, and then you probably will see as soon as they get their momentum built back up, they'll probably jump to the 3rd lane again, see if they can't make that 3rd lane work.
So I'm wondering about this pit strategy for these guys up front. You got Greg and Eric right behind them. So
everybody has to do one more stop. We know that. So as you said, it's safer sometimes being in the front. So I think that is their strategy, or that is Greg's and their strategy, is to stay near the front where there's a better chance of probably not getting wrecked.
So an interesting thing here that I can see, you probably don't run GNL TV, so you could I should actually show you how to get this thing running so you can get these stats that I can see. We've got Keith Bynum, who has led 15 laps, currently back in 25th spot. We also have the number of pit stops. I can see those numbers. So Greg's made 2 pit stops. Eric Lovell has made 2 pit stops. Frank Divens has made 2 pit stops. Those are your top 3. 10 pit stops by Mark Paglia, 10 pit stops by Graham McDonald. Those guys are back in 19th and 24th, respectively. So to see the amount of pit stops the guys in the back half of the field have made compared to the guys who are at the front. It's a track position thing, right? Obviously, the more stops you're making, you're staying in that back half of the field. On these top 3 guys have only made 2 apiece, and look where they are, top 3.
They're also too. They're going to be pitting. I don't know how many laps. I didn't keep track of when they.
That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're going to pit. They're going to
stay out.
They're going to pit separate of everybody else. They're going to come out. They're going to get nice and tight, and they're just going to roll. Should a caution come out, everybody else is going to go down pit road. It's going to put them back up in the front. That might be the strategy they're banking on. The high line is actually forming back up again. We had Rodney Sellens out front, but young little Zach here, Roberts, he's jumped up on the outside in front of Rodney Sellens, and they're starting to make that line work.
Yeah, and that middle line doesn't really have too many trucks in it. We've got Perry Bond right behind Jeff Elliott. Bynum's back there with Hagley and Brandstetter, but they got to get there. Oh, here they come now.
Yeah, as I say, Randy Waugh, and I think I couldn't catch the second truck that went in and just pulled down pit road.
Randy Waugh, that's Corey's dad.
Yeah. He's got a strategy, I'm sure. It's the same idea as with them guys up there. They're probably looking at, they can make it from here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're banking that as a caution. And if there's a caution that comes out, they're going to come out. Yes, they're going to be a little bit behind, but the caution comes out. All the drivers in the front, or most of the guys will pit so they can make it to the end of it, and they'll put themselves in position out front. No caution, it may catch them.
We spoke of that yesterday as like, how do you know your fuel window? So do you run your tank dry, or do you come in and fill up when the window opens so you don't need to pit? You get a head start.
And
so
that's the strategy.
There's 11 laps left. Okay, if we go now, we don't have to pit again no matter what. And you do have 11 laps to gain that speed back, to gain those positions back. If something should happen, you've got time to do it. Instead of running down to 2 laps to go, having to come in for a splash, and then having no time to get back into it.
And the other thing too
is best.
So the other thing too, though, is you've got 3. So they're all the drivers that pitted are pretty much in front of this field. They're going to try to stay there as best they can. But you've got, what your hope is that you come out, you get lined up, and now it's just 4 or 5 of you guys running in a line. You're less happy to have an accident with 4 or 5 guys than you do if you've got 20 trucks all together.
So there goes Farrell, and then Randy Waugh and Lovell are going.
Tom Dixon went in. Oh, I thought he did. He did not go in.
Paglia, Buckshot, and McDonald.
I think that was Buckshot that I saw go in. I thought that was him and Tom Dixon's truck. They look similar. Having Tom Dixon there tonight, does that mean we're going to get his silly statistics?
Tom, that's Gary Mingus.
Oh no, Gary does. Oh yeah, okay. Tom has fun. I forget how he says it. Tom Dixon does a different one.
Yeah, he's fine. If you ask Tom how he's doing, his response will always be, "I'm doing fine as frog hair."
There you go.
It's focused on Zach Roberts. They're being followed by Rodney Stellens. Are they going to pit? Yes, they are. Here they come.
Yeah, Zach Roberts is with him. Perry Bond.
That's what we call hot pitting from Ken Roberts. He's actually on the grass.
That can get you in trouble.
Uncle Ken, Zach nailed it. Uncle Ken, not so much.
But now that hands the lead over to Keith Bynum.
Roberts is still in front, though. So, see now? Keith is back in first again.
Yep. And then you got Jeff Elliott and Javier Negron. I'm going to screw that up, I know, but he's back there in third, and they are running down Lovell, Divins.
Yeah. See, the way this is going to look, like they're going to lap these guys, but they're not, because they still have to pit, and those guys already have. Divins, Randy Waugh.
The hope that the whole idea of that early pit was to hope that you don't get lapped, and that you can run well enough to stay in front of the leaders. But if you can't, you try to get out there, and then now your strategy changes a little bit from hoping for a caution to hoping that they pit and then you get behind them and run. But so far, Keith Bynum has not made an attempt to try to go by him.
No.
Probably knows if he can stay right behind that group of trucks in front of him, he's going to get the best fuel mileage, going to get a great pull. Why not?
I'm thinking too, Bynum on back, they're going to need to go down pit road. So they're not going to risk trying to race these guys right now.
Yep, and it works out good for Greg, Randy, Danny, and Frank, and here they come now. Most of them. Keith Bynum stayed out.
Yeah.
Craig Haggerty stayed out.
Green flag pit stops, always so
Buckshots
exciting.
back there. The Buckshots, I think, now is probably a lap down to Keith Bynum, but he's trying to try to stay right with him there so he can get that lucky dog. Should the caution come out, it would put him in a position for it.
So we got black flags on Ken Roberts and Rodney Sullins.
Yeah, probably too fast on the pit road or unsafe pit.
2 black flags are being shown to the 38 and the 55.
You had said something about Keith Roberts was running down in the grass there, so he probably got his is going to be a stop and go.
Yeah,
he's going to be a stop and go. Keith Bynum's pulling in right now. Craig Haggerty come in with him.
Yep. Perfect. They're both right at 55 when they hit the line.
And that's good for the group there, Greg Lovell, Randy Waugh, Dan Lovell, and Frank Divens, because they ain't got to worry about the leaders running them down. So now they can just focus on going, and hopefully they're running fast enough laps so that by the time the pit cycle runs around, I try to say that real fast,
Yeah.
Pit cycle runs around, they're up to speed. Hopefully they'll be able to run and catch, stay ahead of them.
Okay, so the black flag is still being shown to Rodney. It has disappeared off Ken's name, so he looks like he's clear. Perry Bond is being shown a black flag now as well. Probably a speeding penalty. Jeff Elliott comes over the line in 3rd position, all by himself in 3rd. 11 seconds away from the 82, who's in the lead. These guys are still coming out of the pits then.
Yeah.
They're still getting up to speed.
Right, so being that the start-finish line is quite a ways past pit road, so as they come out, they're going to still pick up that lead. But the problem they're going to have is as they're coming out, they're still trying to build up momentum. You've got Greg Lovell, Randy Waugh, Danny Lovell, Frank Divens, 6 of Bossum there, and I'm trying to the camera dame wouldn't let me see who was behind him, but they are in line, good in line.
Hagley
Zach
headed
Roberts.
to pit road again.
Who was that headed to pit road again?
Craig Hagley came to pit road again. I thought he went with Bynum. Bynum is currently being scored in first.
He might have got a speeding penalty.
It's not showing black flag on him, though, unless I missed it. I'm going to watch that. Craig Hagley in the 82. My software does take about 20 seconds to 10 to 15 to almost 20 seconds to actually. Denny Carroll has retired.
They have
Pat McCarskey and Breedlove.
They have 8-truck line going. That's with Greg Lovell in the front of them there. That they're cranking right along, really, really good. So because they're going so fast, they're averaging around about 196 miles an hour. They're catching up to some of the stay trucks and just rolling right by them. And as they do, those trucks keep picking up and picking the back of the field up, which makes that line go even faster.
Yeah, so Keith Bynum was all by himself there with a little bit of help from the 510. Stephen Branstetter is a lap down. The 22, the 4, the 24, the 56, they caught Keith pretty quick because they, of course, are traveling in a pack of 4. It's a lot faster than, obviously, 2. So this whole front pack is what you're looking at right now. Where's the 77? The 77, that black truck, the Bama Buggies Brian Farrell ride, he is a lap down along with the orange truck there. And Stephen Branstad. Those 2 trucks are lap down, but we do not run damage here, so they will actually help these guys out. Jeffrey Elliott going to the pits. Lap 44 of 47.
Waiting for the score to kind of come around after all the pit stops still. Greg Lovell's back there in 6. It would be interesting to see. It looks like Keith Bynum he moved up 1 position, but Keith Bynum had a good pit stop. He's got Graham McDonald in front of him, Javier in the 4s in 2nd, and Greg Palmer's out in 1st. They are
even after about what? Like how many Corys did Greg Palmer have at the start of this race? Like 9 Corys. Yeah. And look at him. It's a long race. Back in first place with like 2 laps to go here.
2 laps to go, and you've got that 8-truck group that I'm watching back there is about 4 seconds behind. We're going to see when they hit the line here.
Yeah, I got
4 to go.
Yeah, that's a big pack, though.
It's a big pack, and they have a head of steam. It'd be interesting to see how much they make up and whether or not they can get there in the amount of time.
So we've got 4 1/4 on the 8 from the leader. We're going to watch that number go down to 3.79. So they are catching the lead pack. This is going to be good.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get there. That's the next thing. I don't know.
So Palmer's in first, leading that pack. And you can see from that camera angle there that Greg Lovell is leading the pack. It looks like about 8 trucks. No, that's more than 8 trucks. That looks like it's about 10 trucks. So these guys, well, okay, I've got the interval up on the left in black there. You can see fifth position, the number 8 truck of Greg Lovell, who we're focused on right now. Last time at the stripe, real-time updates, it went from above 4 seconds down to just about mid-3s. Let's see how much of a gain they have here.
We're on the last lap, and there's not enough. So the guys that are in the back there, they're all starting to fan out a little bit. And just now, you're not going to make it. So now they're just trying to see and trying to get as many positions as they can. Now the question is Greg Palmer going to be able to hold them off, or we got trucks around?
Lap traffic wrecking in front of the lead pack. The lead pack got around the wreck. Little door bang there from
Graham McDonald.
Graham McDonald gave Javier Negrón a hip check to move him out of the way, costing everybody momentum except for Palmer in the Flamin' Hoodas double deuce.
Graham McDonald's going up to block off Javier. He's just trying to keep that momentum going.
That race per second was good.
And oh no! I thought for a minute Javier had it, but no. Graham McDonald by
did Graham get it?
Yeah, Graham got it by 0.05 seconds. Very good.
He did. Wow. Nice.
Javier in fourth. Greg Lovell ended up in fourth. Javier in third in the 4. Greg Lovell ended up fourth, which is a great points day for him.
Awesome finish, man. And Greg at the start of this race, having all those flips. Sorry, Corey's.
Did the Corys.
He did a whole bunch of Corys. And we're waiting for him to possibly do some burnouts.
I think he's collecting himself right now. That was kind of a weird race.
Wild race. The lap traffic wrecking in front of the lead pack as they're coming down the back straight. Congratulations to Greg Palmer. I mean, in trouble early, but that's it. If you're going to get into some big trouble early's when to do it, because he had that whole race to plan his comeback.
All right, well, we've given him a minute to get out of the truck. He's wiped the sweat off. It's a tough race. We got Greg Lovell in the booth.
To the booth.
So, how did that race go for you? Fourth place, good. Pad your points.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good in points, leading points. Such a good feeling for me. I'm not complaining, man. I mean, I thought I was going to finish 6 or 7, but there was a wreck and.
Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty there. I bumped the mouse. We got to find out where we sent him.
Hey guys, was you interviewing Greg?
Yes, we were.
Oh my! Hang on a second.
Oh, so it was my fault. It was Jeffrey Elliott, or
actually, I wanted to bring the 5th place, which was Randy Wall, and since he sponsored the race tonight, I was going to bring him in.
Okay. Sorry about that, Greg. Jeff was pulling his power and yanked you out.
My bad. Go ahead and finish up with the 4th place podium, then we'll bring Randy down just for a 5th place.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
So the way I saw it there, we were discussing it through the race there. You guys kind of stayed out and then pitted a little early. You kept picking up trucks, kept laying them down, and you were doing some really fast laps, but you just ran out of time. The 4 trucks that were in front of you, I think you were about 8 at the time, 6 at the time, and then unfortunately had a little bit of a spin there near the end. That brought you up into the 4th place. So good night for you at all. Your truck ran real well today.
Yeah, a good race, man. We was trying to figure out how they gave so much time on us. They must have took a 1.5 or something, which is only about two seconds longer because we had to take 2 cans.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they only had to take a 1.5. I think that's what made them gain time on us. But I'll take 4th place and be happy with it. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you've had that keeps your points lead going really good. One more race until the championship, so you don't get really too much to worry about. But I know you'll be out there trying to get to the front, trying to do the best you can, getting yourself practiced up for that championship races. Good job tonight. To give you the floor, give you an opportunity to thanks people, and good job tonight, bud.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Jeffrey and Randy Wolf. Man, Randy, I hope your son gets to feeling a lot better. I couldn't imagine what you're going through, man. My heart goes out to you. I'd like to thank Ken for what he does. He does a lot too, and just all these admins, and y'all do a good job in the booth, Blaine and Rod. And I'm gonna go back and watch this one. I haven't watched one in a while, so I'm gonna go back and watch this one and enjoy it. But that was a fun race, man. Thank you, Jeff, for the race.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. The especially after last night's mega, for all you guys to come back and do it again tonight is phenomenal.
Yeah, I wish our team could have done a little better last night, but it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of races, and it was a long night for a lot of people. So I think it came down to some fatigue. It almost turned into an endurance event just to see who could actually sit in that chair the longest and keep that concentration.
I think we had
good. We got breaks in between races because I could get up and walk around and not sit in this chair the whole time, and because it makes your butt hurt after a while.
Yeah,
we were the marathon guys. We were the marathon guys because we couldn't get up and go anywhere.
I think that's true. I think we were the ones that pulled the full event. Yeah.
Well, that's Greg Lovell, our 4th place finisher and our current points leader. Thanks for coming in there, Greg. We'll, ready for next week to watch you do it again.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Have a good night, bud. Randy Waugh, the 21, dude. What a run that was tonight, man. Fantastic racing, and with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, man, I was lucky to get that. I was running okay, and then I kept pushing back to the back with all those cautions. But that was an exciting race.
You guys got the yellows out early, and then it came down to some green flag cycles that were very hard to keep track of because there was a lot of different strategies that really saw. Like a 10, I think you were part of that 10-car pack trying to chase down the leaders and, being led by Greg. And, you guys weren't going to catch them. You got within 4 seconds of them, but it was neat to see like that. I don't know how those 3 guys got so far out in front, but their strategy worked. And I mean, yours did too, because you made it to the end and you got a 5th place position.
I didn't understand how they got so far ahead either. But we had Greg, me, and Dan there, and we were just trying our best, and we were catching them for a while, and then I think they got single file. Then when they had that wreck, we just kept our foot in it, and I thought we were going to get 1-2 there, but I guess a couple of them kept going.
Yeah, I think you're going to dig the broadcast, man. We were shouting out to Corey as much as we could, and we won't spoil the surprise, but we come up with some cool little fun things.
I sure appreciate it, and I know he does. He's still in there listening to it. But I'm going to watch it as soon as we get out of here, and he's probably going to go to bed. He goes to bed about 8 o'clock. But I want to point out one thing about him. That kid, he loves preaching in church, and he'll sit in his bedroom and listen to preaching all day long, and he'd stay in church all day if they'd let him.
Oh, wow, right on.
And I give him props, being a paraplegic myself. A lot of that stuff is all about attitude, and if you got the right attitude, your life's not that bad.
I agree.
I agree. And he does. I mean, he's always happy. He loves everybody. Everybody loves him.
That's awesome.
He's just a joy to be around.
Well, you got a chance to thank some people if you want. Give it a shout out.
Yeah. I'll thank you guys first, foremost, for putting this on and going the extra step to make it enjoyable for Corey. And I want to shout out to my son Christian and my grandsons Adrian, Asher, and Asa. I want to thank Greg and Dan for helping me out there at the end and sticking with me. Thank Jeff for running this league. This league's amazing. I hate to see Jeff go. I hope it'll be up to the same standards, and that we'll still get some broadcast shows out there for people to watch.
I got a question for you too before you go. Who painted your truck? Because we got a pretty good look at that thing, and you had Corey's name on the passenger window. You had his picture on the front and on the sides. You had it across the back trunk lid as well. Did you make that yourself?
No, I'd like to claim it, but that was due to Frank Divins. He did an excellent job on it, and I really appreciate him painting that thing for me.
That's super cool.
Just for this race.
Very nice.
Yeah, we made sure to fly our drone cam all the way around that thing during a couple of those yellow flags, so we got a pretty good look at it. It looked pretty good.
Well, thank you. And Corey enjoyed it too. He loves watching this stuff, and he liked my truck when I first showed it to him.
Perfect, man. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks for watching, Corey.
Yeah, thanks, Corey.
Thank you,
Randy.
guys. Y'all have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll be here. Thanks, Randy. Javier Negron in the booth, man. Holy moly. How did you guys get so far ahead? Greg Palmer, Graham McDonald, and Javier Negron 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field to finish that podium off tonight, man. What was the strategy in the pits? Nobody can figure out what you guys did.
Tell you the truth, hi, Ben. Hi, Rod. I have no idea myself. I was just, communicating with Team Wrecking Ball, and it was the last pit stop with me and Ulysses going down there, and we're discussing on either a can and a half or a can. So then we decided to do one can, and it worked out for me. Ulysses has a speeding penalty, so that's how it worked out.
Yeah, because the rest of the guys we were talking to, that pack that was coming for you guys, led by Greg Lovell, there was like 10 trucks deep on that line coming. We're going, man, they're like 4 seconds behind these guys, and we're going down to the last lap. It was a neat little green flag cycle, with some different strategies to put you guys up there. But yeah, man. So you painted all those trucks for Team Wrecking Ball, did you?
No, I just did the paint scheme for the mega race.
We like that. We really like that.
The trucks I didn't do, just the team Wrecking Ball for the mega race. I did.
You did a great job with that paint scheme, and we was talking about that through the broadcast. How it looks like just the right angle, how that wrecking ball on the side of it actually looked like it was sticking out the side of the car.
Yeah,
it was neat because we were talking about it obviously yesterday during the mega, but Rod actually brought it up again tonight. Like, you remember those cars from yesterday, the Wrecking Ball? So yeah, you made it on the broadcast 2 days in a row with that design, man. So yeah, there's so many painters, and I apologize for getting sometimes to mention your name, but yeah, we know that you do paint stuff, and quality work, dude.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I dabble, but I'm nowhere near
like Rodney, who's got
Rodney
7 million
and Frank Divins and stuff like that. Yeah, no, nowhere in their level. I just do more basics, paint scheme, but they're like the best of it.
That's the great thing about this thing, though, man. You got a paint program and you understand how the template works. Anybody can get in on it, and they're all very unique and all very, very cool, and they help elevate the broadcast, man. So thanks for what you're doing out there.
Yeah, and thank you, because Blaine, I text you, I message you a lot about stuff like that, so I appreciate your help.
Always a pleasure. Yeah, I like helping. I got a couple texts a couple days ago about even helping get the game installed. And it's funny. We've all been playing this thing. I guess I've been playing it since 2003. So you just tend to, you hear a weird problem, and I've probably had that problem because I've literally played the thing for 21 years now. So yeah, don't hesitate to send a message, man. But yeah, congratulations on your podium finish in 3rd place. That's a ton of points for you and the Wrecking Ball team going into race number 9 next week to lock down those championship spots.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Do you have
Anybody you want to thank?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we'll give you the mic and you can throw down some shout outs.
I'll give a shout out to my wife, Sarah, and my daughter, Samantha, who are sleeping now, but they'll see the video tomorrow. And that's about it. And thanks for what Jeff had done. He's the one that got me into this a year ago, and I never thought it would be something I'll be, liking to do, but it really it just blew my mind how better it is compared to the video games. And I appreciate what Jeff did for me and for you two guys and for the broadcast and stuff like that. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Javier, man. Have yourself a good night, bud.
All right,
we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Now, Graham McDonald, my buddy Graham. 2nd place finish tonight. That's awesome, man. The strategy worked out really good for you. Ended up with 2nd. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a strategy that was. I just kind of ended up there.
Well, it still worked.
Seems like every wreck found me tonight.
We were looking in the earlier in the race too. It looked like you were having some connection problems in happy hour or whatever. So that tended to stabilize for the race because you seemed to be running fine.
Yeah, on my end, it wasn't showing anything. My meters were fine. Nobody was blinking out. I didn't see it.
That's a good point chase for you. I wasn't sure where you are. I actually don't have that screen up anymore, but good points night for you tonight. Maybe get you back up in there a little bit. And yeah, glad to see you running up front.
Yeah, just one more spot. That's all I needed.
That's right.
So what was the pit strategy, man? Because again, we're talking to Javier about this. The top 3, 4 seconds ahead of everybody else after that last pit cycle. You guys just hit your marks perfect.
It had to have been all it was because I didn't have any strategy. I just did it with a bunch of guys, came out together. I actually left the guys I left that road with behind.
Yeah, I'm looking at
caught up to them.
Yeah, it works out. Right place, right time, long race. A bunch of problems early with the yellow flags, but yeah, stick in there and see what happens. And now we're looking at the standings. You're currently in 17th. Before this race started, only a few spots out of those final 12. So this is going to launch you up there, man. This is looking good coming into race 9. So are you able to make it next week?
Yeah, I'll be here. We're not racing next week, though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Easter, the week after that. Yeah. So as long as we can get you back in here for race 9, maybe get into a playoff shot there.
Yeah, I just haven't had the luck this season.
Well,
sometimes that's all it takes is just having the right luck.
I think it's 50-50.
I missed a race, and I had an engine blow up, and just got shuffled quite a few times.
Well, that's good. Congratulations on the 2nd place finish. Anybody you want to shout out for you before you head out?
I'll give a shout out to my grandkids, Amara, Nikki, Chase, and William. They might get a kick out watching this tomorrow.
It was definitely an entertaining race, fans. Yeah, thanks for coming down here and talk to us. And congratulations on 2nd place finish. And we'll see you here the next race, number 9, coming up after Easter. Have yourself a good night, Graham.
Yeah, good night. And hopefully I get to come up and talk to you a few more times this season.
Let's do it. We'll be here.
All right.
And of course, the winner of this evening, man, Greg Palmer in the studio right now, watching if we took the start of your race and compared it to the end of your race, it wouldn't look like the same race. Doing 9 flips down the front straightaway early on, you'd never think you'd see that truck in victory circle.
I did more barrels than Dale Earnhardt at Talladega.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was more damage done to that thing than, I don't know. I got no analogy for that one.
You know, Blaine, I'm getting tired of these talks that we have. I'm talking to you more than I talk to my wife.
Well, sometimes that's not a bad thing, buddy.
True.
Was that frustrating early on in the race, getting caught up at something like that, or would you rather have something like that happen early, especially with damage off, knowing like, hey, look, this is a long deal, we can get back in this?
Oh, definitely early, and definitely thank you. I forgot that damage was off until somebody mentioned it, because I was gonna hit the exit button.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. If something like that happens at Talladega early, you're basically done. Like if it's in the last 10 laps, guys will tend to finish the race, but you're doing something like that in the first 10 laps, like why even bother? You're just going to be in the way.
Yes.
So yeah, having damage off, it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll throw on 4 new tires and see what happens, and here we are, 180 points later.
Yeah, what's really frustrating is the person that almost takes you out is the guy that you're here to help, Mark Paglia. He's my teammate, and he just hit me at the wrong time, at the wrong angle, and that was it. But like I said, thank goodness, damage was off.
Yeah, that's no good. It's no good when you've got a teammate behind you pushing, and it just happens to hook you in the right angle, and away we go. But yeah, it worked out. See, now, you know what, though? Paglia's going to take credit for the win. He's gonna say he pushed you to the win now.
Sure he will. But going at the last pit stop on the green, I took a can. I gambled. Took a can, went out. I went in with my teammates, Kenny and Rodney. They got black flag for speed, and I'm like, oh, I'm screwed now.
Yep.
And so they stayed out till we caught up with somebody, so I could hook up with somebody else. And they went in, and then I think I was Javier and Graham too, and whoever else. So it was just the right place, right time, and I ran out of fuel when I did my
when you were doing the burnout. Yeah, I saved the replay, and then because we got you doing your burnout, so that was that close. Then the fuel gamble. What was it showing? Obviously, it was showing you were to the good, because if you got all the way back around to do the burnout,
showed me splash.
Oh, it was showing splash.
That's close.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, I was when I got behind, when I was with Rodney and Kenny for the couple of laps that they stayed out before they got DQ'd, I was burping it. Just kept burping it, and that saved me maybe half a lap, which was great. So.
Nice. So I'm looking at the standings. You're in 27th. You weren't able to make 3 of these races. Are you able to make any more of these? And I mean, probably playoffs. That's not looking like you're going to make the playoffs, but it's always cool to see you out here in that Hooters truck.
I'm here for my teammates. If they need me, I'm here. If I can make it, I'm here.
Nice.
Yeah, usually Sundays is, I'm not going to say family day, but, we have people over and do this, do that, and whoever doesn't come, I'll be in here racing or whatever. So Sunday's a free day. If I can make it, I'll be here.
No, it'd be great to have you, man. Yeah, because that's the thing. It all comes down like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to make it, but you definitely can help, throw some blocks, do some pushing, help with some strategies. It's all a team game.
That's what I was here for Paglia. And, stuff happens, and I got the win. Nah.
And that's it. And he got 7th. The top 10 in this, the whole top half of this race is a lot different looking than it usually is. When you've got Graham McDonald, Javier Negron, Randy Waugh, Frank Divins, Mark Paglia, Brian Ross, and me and Giulardi all dominating the top 10. There's some names in there that, sometimes they're not up that high. And it's cool to see in a league like this, where every single week you basically just throw the dice. Anybody can, do the right strategy and be in the right spot, and like, oh no, look, it's, this is how it's going to finish this week. And I'm trying to keep track of the standings. There's so much shuffling. Guys were literally jumping 15 spots from week to week. They'll gain 12. and then they'll lose 9, and then they'll gain 12 again. And it's like they're just bouncing all over the place because the competition here is so thick.
Yeah, you got that right. Plus, like I said, who can show, who can't show, who's got plans already, who's away for the weekend. And, it's nice to see, like you just said, a mixture of different drivers in the top 10 tonight. That was good.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, if you have any shout outs you want to do, Greg, we'll let you get at it and then get back to your evening.
I appreciate that. I want to thank you guys at Tarnation TV, you, Rod and Blaine, always calling a great race. And of course, my teammates, Kelly Causey, Kenny, Godfrey, Hagley, Mr. Sullins, Randy Waugh for great sponsorship tonight, man. Wouldn't have it any other way, man. Rodney from Peyton, always painting me a great truck.
Yeah.
Mike, come on. My Flaming Hooters Magnum Trojan XL Chevy Silverado.
Cover me. We're going in.
You've seen that one on my truck?
Yes, I have. I've been here a while. I think you ran that. I think you ran that on a Manx car too. I think
I had a black and gold Trojan car. Yeah, on the bell on the back it says "Cover me, I'm going in." But that's my humor. So
on the
That's
spoiler,
awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
thanks, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you at the next broadcast. Hopefully, I'll be in your booth again.
Right on, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that's a little bit different race than last week, but it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was a great finish. It's 100%.
Okay. Well, it was. I'd rather be lucky than good, so that was a pretty good one for him. He was able to make up the win, get the win, and not. He's like you said, he's not in the points, but that's okay. He'll be in there, but helping it out his teammates, which is what they do. Like I said, he had a great race tonight. The strategies were really weird, a little different, and I thought that was kind of cool.
I like the way he does that too. Like, yeah, I'll be here for my teammates because you can, even though you're not going to affect the standings yourself, you can by helping, drafting with teammates and stuff. Like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to make the championship, but maybe you back off a little bit and get that guy back in the draft, or you get behind him and push him, even though it's not going to benefit you. It'll benefit him because now he's got a buddy. It's always neat to see that. That's the great thing about NASCAR racing, especially on tracks like Talladega, SuperSpeedway. You need friends out there to help you keep speed. So if Greg could make it out, even though he's not into playoff running, what do we got here? Like, where is Paglia's in the third? So Paglia will make it into the playoffs, and then it becomes a knockout stage. So that you could definitely use extra buddies on the track in that situation.
Oh, absolutely. Having your teammate behind you, even though if you're the only one on the team that is able to have the chance to win the championship, you take that, you put those 5 team members, I think it's a cap of 5 drivers, they get all behind him and push. And even if he's in second, and then he's got someone in, let's say Mark is in second and Greg's in the lead, and Greg wins another race with Mark behind him, he's still doing really good in the points. Exactly.
Yep. It all comes down to it. And tonight we did have 30 drivers start the race this evening. So as always, thank you to every driver in this league. Anybody who's ever driven in these races, it always leads to a fantastic broadcast. Of course, if you are tuning in to the broadcast, let me see what's coming up, because next weekend is Easter. So it'll be our next broadcast will be Monday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. We're going to be at SMO Speedway for the SMO Racing League. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, on the 6th, which will be the following Saturday, April 6th, the King of Kings Eliminator. And then the day after that, on the 7th, we are back here at the iPE Excellence Series for race number 9, the final race of the regular season before we lock down the championship knockout rounds. And lots of stuff coming up here at Tarnation TV style. So if you are a fan, thanks for watching, subscribing, or doing whatever you do. I don't need to tell people how to use the internet, but the subscribe button is there. And a bunch of people watch this, so we do definitely thank you for supporting what we do here. It's a lot of fun to be able to sit down for a couple hours every weekend and watch one of my favorite old simulators keep on clicking along.
Yep. You got to say goodnight to Corey, because, you know, this race is for him. So,
yep. Thanks for watching, Corey. And I hope you enjoyed the race, and hope you got some cool looks at that 21 truck with your face all over it. But yeah, thanks to Randy Waugh for sponsoring this evening's race. United Cerebral Palsy. UCP.org is the website for more information on the cause. And of course, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.